surprise and delight. And so what I mean by this is the little things that can go a long way with helping to create, or more so further establish, relationships. You really want to use that small talk in the very first conversation or second conversation with them to your advantage and learn something about them.
Initiating becoming a hiring machine sequence in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, it's Sam Keenly, and welcome to Becoming a Hiring Machine. This is the show dedicated to fixing recruitment by going beyond saying what needs to change and instead teaches you how to make the change. Today we've got a great Tactical Tuesday episode ahead of us, but before we get into that, I just want to tell you a little bit about the show. Essentially, we have shows within the show here. Some days we have interviews with industry thought leaders and others who are shaking up the space, while other days we cover things like trending topics. Stop by every Tuesday like today for a Tactical Tuesday episode where we go deep on how to do something that's going to help you drive better results in your day-to-day. Some days we open up for Q&A, and other days you get a mic drop episode from Matt where he shares something that he's been thinking about within the recruitment space and wants you to know. And as a reminder, if you love the content that we share here on the show, make sure that you subscribe for more. All right, today's Tactical Tuesday. Imagine there was a tactic that you could use that could attract new clients. It could help retain and expand within your existing clients, and it can even keep the lines open with candidates that you've placed who are now or could be future hiring managers. Sounds too good to be true almost, right? Not so much. So what is that little tactic? I call it surprise and delight. And so what I mean by this is just the little things that can go a long way with helping to create, or more so further establish, relationships. So a lot of people will think about something like gifting with this. And when I look at gifting, I always say that it should be used as a relationship solidifier, not a relationship creator. What happens is, say, for example, you went and you sent a gift over to someone that you wanted to have a conversation with, but you've never really spoken to them on the phone or anything else. It's going to feel a little bit like a guilt trip if you go and send that to them. They're going to be like, oh man, I have to take this call now, or something else. So what you'll want to do is use it, as I say, more on the solidifier side. And when you do this is after, you've had the conversation with someone, but it plays into a little bit of human behavior in that they're going to want to reciprocate or think positively of you and go on to pay the favor forward, or make sure that, you're keeping a good spirits with them. So on that note, wanted to give you a couple of examples within 3 different realms. So the first one is, say you've got a client that you would love to land. And I say, again, we're not using this to create the relationship, but you're going to want to do this with potential clients that you've at least had on a call first. They've gotten to talk to you, see you over Zoom or face-to-face, however you meet. But what you want to do is you really want to use that small talk in the very first conversation or second conversation with them to your advantage and learn something about them. And this is going to be unique to them, not their company, not what they're trying to accomplish, but like, what's their favorite sports team? What's their favorite candy or snack? Do they have a local restaurant they love to go to? If they have a dog or a cat that they're obsessed with, make note of those. And what you'll want to do as part of the follow-up is send a small item that's related to that over to them. Be like, hey, thought of you, you mentioned that you love the Detroit Tigers, that you've got a dog that does this, send them just a cute collar, a treat, a gift card to that local restaurant, or even just say like, hey, I also went to that restaurant. I absolutely love this dish. I think you would enjoy it too. It doesn't have to be anything crazy big, but these little things are what are going to help differentiate you from everyone else. And it goes such a long way. So that's a great thing that you can use for clients that you'd love to land someday. Let's say you've got a current client. What you can do here are a couple different tactics. So one is when you finally make that first placement for them, go above and beyond with your thank you. Even for the small roles, you're still getting a pretty hefty payout for more of these than most often would think. So what you can do with this, instead of just sending the traditional, I don't know if it might be an email, a thank you handwritten note, something like that, but find a way to, again, use that relationship to your advantage. What have you learned about the hiring manager, the organization, but go above and beyond in whatever ways possible. That's where I say, I'll let you get a little bit creative with that one. So that's one thing you can do. Let's say that you have worked with this client in the past One thing that you can also do to expand within them is, say you see a role that they have an opening for on their website. It might not be the most strategic role. It might be something slightly outside of your niche, but send a short list over to the hiring manager, just like, hey, spend a little bit of time on this. I saw that you were actively searching for it, so I wanted to, just give you a little something that might help to expedite you finding the best candidate for this. So again, it's not going to take a long time for you, but it's going to go such a long way for them. So send that over to them. Always goes a long way. Final one is for candidates placed. So let's say you just placed a candidate. A couple different things that I would recommend here is sending them just a little congratulatory something after, not just, they got the job with you or anything else, but after they completed their first 30 days or their first 90 days. So they're in the role, they've been doing things for a bit. You may or may not have been in touch with them as much as before you place them. So it's a good way to continue that relationship and stay top of mind for them. And one other way that I like to go above and beyond on that is, say they're in a role with very specific goals or measurements. So think sales, think customer support, think, it might be manufacturing, production. But if you have stayed in touch with your hiring manager, and when you were working with them, you understood here are the specific goals, KPIs, measurements that this person's going to be responsible for, have a conversation with them so you can follow up. And when you're saying, how is Jenny doing in her new role? Is she meeting expectations? Is she meeting goals, everything else? When they do hit that first goal, send something to both the hiring manager and the candidate place, like, hey, so excited for you. It seems like you're doing really well in the job. Heard you hit your first goal. Here's a little something. I knew you would do great in the role. Congratulations. So again, doesn't have to be anything crazy, but those little things are what will go such a long way. And I can't recommend them high enough for you. So that's today's Tactical Tuesday. Hope this little tip is a helpful one for you and gets the creative wheels spinning for you and inspires you to start thinking about how you can incorporate this in your day-to-day moving forward. So as we wrap, Becoming a Hiring Machine is a production of Loxo. If you love this episode but you're not sure where to go next, we've got a link to a similar one in the description of your favorite podcast streaming platform. Full video episodes are available on YouTube as well as on our website. If you ever have questions, send them our way, podcast@loxo.co. And lastly, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you leave us a quick rating in your podcast streaming platform. It only takes you 3 seconds, but it's going to help other recruiters like you to find us. All right, everyone, that's the show. That was a great Tactical Tuesday episode. Until next time, bye, y'all.